Hi. Now, if you've been keeping an eye on the PhatPhish Facebook page or the Twitter feed recently, you'll be aware that I've been working on a web-based version of PhatPhish. This came about basically in response to some queries I was getting from people who'd seen PhatPhish as a Windows product, and they said, was it available on any platforms other than Windows, or were there any plans to port it over to platforms like Apple or Android. And as I said in an earlier video here, the amount of work required to port that over, because it's quite a substantial amount of program code in PhatPhish, the amount of work required to port that over to other platforms really was prohibitively too much for where I am at the minute. What I'm decided to do by way of a compromise was come up with a web-based version of PhatPhish with some basic features which would be available on basically any device that had web access. So whether you're using a Windows PC, an Apple Mac, Linux PC or laptop, BlackBerry, Android smartphone, Symbian, iPad, whatever, as long as you had web access, you could go to this web page and you would have a basic set of PhatPhish functionality. That's been in sort of like a closed beta test where I had a few people looking at it recently, and then last night I sort of like launched it publicly on the PhatPhish Facebook page and made an announcement that it's available for people to have a look at, and basically give some feedback ahead of going to a full release version. So the product is currently available here, and if you go over there's a feedback form on the bottom of the page, so if you go over and have a look, play around with it, I'd be really interested in getting your feedback. Let me know what you think, any suggestions for how you might want it updated or changed. We'll try and get a full-formed product out there, incorporating people's feedback. What I'm going to do now is I'll flip the camera around, pointed at the screen, just give you a quick look at the stuff that's going to be available in that web-based version of PhatPhish. Just as an aside, the product kind of got nicknamed GUPPY. One of the PhatPhish users passed a comment to me and suggested you should give this thing a name. How about GUPPY? And the name just kind of stuck. I kind of liked it. So what you're going to be seeing now is PhatPhish Project GUPPY, PhatPhish for the web. Give you a quick look and hopefully you like it. Okay, so here we are. Surf over that web address, sent with a little welcome screen. Running it here within Firefox, but it's been I've tried it with all the popular browsers and generally seems to work okay. So there's a little bit of information there. If we click on Start, this is the more simplified web-based interface, which should look reasonably familiar to you if you've used the Windows version of PhatPhish. Basically the scale that you're working with, a little bit of a description, and then the all-important neck diagram here with the notes laid out for you. Now here we're 6-string standard tuning, but if you scroll down you can see there's various different ways we can control the scale. So pick a root note, different scale type, whether we want landscape or portrait. Portrait's quite useful if we're working on a smartphone that's got a more tall, thin sort of screen. But I'll show you that for now. And a few little things we can do cosmetically. So let's have a rosewood neck with some red markers. Highlight, different chord tones, and then see if we hit calculate, it goes off and it'll recalculate the scale for you based on those parameters. So here we've got it in a portrait orientation, and all the scales are in the scale database are pretty much as per the Windows version of PhatPhish. So here we're just working with all scales, but I can pick it to say family like modes of the major scale, hit update, just go back to the default layout. But I can pick, say, Phrygian mode based on an A root note. Let's have a 7 string with a bottom B string. hit calculate, and there you are, the 7th string with a Phrygian mode. Okay. There's a feedback form here, so please, if you try this out, let me have your thoughts about how well it works for you. Let me know how well it works on your whatever device you're using, and I'm trying to shape this in response to feedback that I get from people. So, not as fully featured as the Windows version of PhatPhish, but certainly enough to give you the basic scale calculator functionality, and most importantly available to any device that's got web browser and internet connectivity. Okay, so that's the web-based version of PhatPhish. Like I said, there's a feedback form on the bottom of the page. I'd be very interested in getting your comments on what you think of the user interface. In particular, let me know what sort of device you're using it on and how well the user interface works for you on that. If you've got any suggestions for any changes or additions that you'd like, then let me know, and as far as I can, I'll try and incorporate those into the product. With this, as with the full version of PhatPhish, I'll try to evolve it in response to feedback from the people who are actually using it as much as I can. Obviously, if I get suggestions that are absolute opposites of each other coming in from different people, I'll try and find some sort of compromise, but as much as I can, I'll try and evolve the product in response to people's feedback. So, like I say, it's available here, so go over, have a look, play around a little bit, and hopefully you'll find it useful. It's not intended to be as fully featured as the full Windows version of PhatPhish. Like I say, there's certain time constraints and just practicalities that mean I can't put all of that functionality across, but hopefully there's enough there for you to find it useful on whatever device you happen to be using. Okay, so that's that. Hopefully I'll be back soon with a full release version 1 of GUPPY, the web-based version of PhatPhish. But in the meantime, thanks for watching, and see you soon. Bye.